That's right. Oh, Face Wrestling. Listen to the podcast. Listen. They are Darkside approved. Holidead approves it. Oh, Face Wrestling. I'll be listening. Will you?
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today on O Face Wrestling. This is your host JT, and today I'm joined by the one and only Holidead. So thanks for joining us today, Holly.
Thank you for coming into the lair of the dark side. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. I've been Darkside approved for a while, so I'm definitely happy to be in the lair.
Sure. That's true. You've been down. O Face has been down since day one.
Hell yeah. From day one, hell yeah. So, Holly, I've been wanting you on the show for a minute now. We did a Q&A for the website back in April, so I'm going to do my best not to ask the same questions, but I do have some questions about some of your answers that you gave me too. So, you ready to roll?
I think, okay.
So let's do this. So on the Q&A that I did, back in April, I'd asked, what inspired your, the Holidead character. And you had mentioned that your trainers had, gave you the idea they wanted you to do something dark and they wanted you to have face paint. So when they told you that, was there anything that you look back at, like in a horror movie or a wrestler from the past that kind of inspired what you were going to do when they asked that?
I know everybody wants some really cool story from this. I feel like everybody's hoping they get some dynamic answer, and I was like, no, not at all. No, it was legit. It was one of those things. I'm a student. I'm only working student shows. Hey, we need this by this weekend. You want to be on the show? Can you do this? I want to be on the show. I'm a student. I'm not doing shit. Yes, I want to be on the show. What do you need? Okay. You don't have any direction for me? Okay, I'll just make it happen. It was all it came together in a matter of days. It was, like I said, they needed something dark for this group they were trying to do. They needed it this weekend. I had enough training. They're like, all right, we can use you in it. Can you do this? It was very random, how everything came together. I mean, over time, Holidead is something I've been able to develop or whatever. I can't take credit for the initial look or whatever. It was randomly thrown together. But something I mention a lot, my trainer Gangrel always said, whatever you present out to the people, it has to be genuine. It has to be real. Because if not, they will tell. They will feel that. And he's someone that's challenged me to go to my own dark place and figure out who Holidead really is. So.
Yeah, exactly, because you make a really good point, because if you don't believe in what you're doing, the fans will see that and they won't be into it. I've seen plenty of times on TV, WWE as an example, where you see the wrestlers, you could just tell they're portraying a character that they don't want to do. It's like they're being forced. And then you could tell when someone's doing something they love, like Matt Hardy when he was doing the broken stuff back in Impact. You could tell that was him. He loved, and that was his baby, that broken character. So I totally get it and all. And so you said everything was really random. So as far as the face paint, was that something that you were good at right from the get-go, or did that also take some time?
No, not at all. Right. Again, when I said it was random, all thrown together, just like a baseball, somebody hits you with the boom. It's go find some fucking material, a fucking costume. It was boom, a pie in your face thrown together. No, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing at all. No.
Well, I have to say you're doing really good at it after doing it for so many years. And also, quick question about that. How long does it typically take you to put the face paint on?
You know what I'm about to say in this answer. I feel like you know.
I know, but I was hoping that you would actually give me, I know it's your mood ring and all that.
Yes, it's a mood ring. It changes with the mood, okay?
Exactly,
different answer there.
At Goddesses of War back in July, you could tell you were hot because the mood. You had the sweaty face paint, kind of look.
Hey, I mean, your mood does change with the weather. It affects us all. You get a little hot, you get a little irritated. Your face might melt. I'm not the only one. I'm not alone here in that.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty hot out there, and the fact that you're actually wrestling and that it was crazy, because I know that's not your typical kind of environment for wrestling. You're traditionally indoors, so outdoors is kind of new for a lot of people.
Professional wrestling, independent wrestling, you're ready for anything. I've wrestled in fucking I don't know, in Texas. I don't want to call them barns or something, but it's one of those fairs where it's just dirt all over the floor. It's independent wrestling. You're ready for any and everything. Some days you get some stadium stuff, and the next day, you got this. And I mean, we're dealing with the pandemic, so a lot of stuff is outside right now just because a lot of buildings have restrictions. So we make do and do what we got to do. The show must go on, always.
Exactly. Like that's the cool thing about independent pro wrestling. Like when we went to primetime wrestling in March, it was in a warehouse. Like you literally saw like everything like stocked up. Like it's literally they just put a ring into like a warehouse and everything like that. So I like that. I think it's cool and it's fun. It's different. Um, Going back to like the whole Holidead stuff. So one of the questions I have for you, I'm really interested in learning. So you're Holidead at the end of the day. You are very popular. I know prior to COVID, you were regularly on the road. You're being booked all the time. You seem to be really popular. You have a very strong fan base. Both times that I've gone to the events that you were at, you got a line at your table. So I have to ask, like, how does it feel being Holiday, being a wrestler that promotions all over the world want to book, fans want to meet? So how does it feel being in that, spotlight?
I don't feel any of what you feel. I don't like. I don't feel like I'm that popular. Like I understand I do have fans and stuff. Like I don't feel like I'm. I don't want to say like I'm not nobody, but I don't feel like I don't walk around like I'm Holiday. Move out of the way, Like I don't know. I don't feel that. I feel like there's still so much more for me to do. I feel like I could still be doing a lot more. I feel like I could be further than where I'm at in my career and stuff. So like I appreciate when people like you come and say that and stuff. But to me, I feel like not to downplay myself, but like I don't know, I'm not nobody. I still like there's still stuff for me to do. There's still more places I want to be booked. There's still more things I want to work on and places I want to work at. And so I don't know. I feel like I'm a professional in my craft or whatever, and I take it seriously. But I don't know. I don't feel like I'm nobody. I don't know. I don't know if that answered your question. I don't
No,
know.
I totally get what you're saying because, like, as a wrestler, you don't, necessarily like look at it through like our perspective. Like, because for you, like, us meeting you is like a big deal. Like, like I drove 3.5 hours to come, specifically see you at the event, me and my wife. And it's like, if no random
Shout
people
out
are
to
gonna, yeah, she's actually in the shower right now. She might stop in after recording and say hi. But yeah, like, people come to see you and get photos and it like really makes their day and all. Like, some wrestlers, they don't really think about that. And I brought it up to some wrestlers, they don't really know the kind of impact they make. Like people think that, oh, I'm not in WWE. I don't, have that same kind of, magic to me. And then like you all really do. Like if you're a big fan of the indies, meeting any of y'all is like equivalent to a WWE fan meeting Becky Lynch or so on and so forth. Like
I
you
mean, I will say it makes me like appreciate stuff more because there's a lot of bullshit that goes on in the business, and it's a lot of stuff that's not fair. That's just in life, and it makes you want to be like, fuck this, I quit or whatever. But like, getting a reception from you guys, or just that you guys come out and are happy to see us, like it does mean a lot, and it does make myself and others feel like a certain way, like okay, sometimes it is worth it, or whatever. So again, I
yeah
don't know where I was going with that, but yeah.
yeah, I totally know what you mean. And as far as like you had mentioned, and I know I didn't like mention this on the sample questions I sent you, but you said there's still a lot that you want to do. What are some of your goals in wrestling that you have not accomplished yet that you still really want to do?
I don't know about have not accomplished. I mean, like, I definitely want to go back to Europe. That was something I was gonna do this year. I had a couple European tours planned out, but pandemic happened. I mean, so that's something I definitely want to go do. If I could go, honestly, if I could go to Europe and stay for like a long, long time, I would do that. I just feel like they like me a little more over there. So, go where the love is at. I was supposed to debut in Asia this year. COVID happened, so couldn't do that. So I would like to do that. I would love to go to Japan again. If I could find an opportunity there, that would be awesome. And do some more stuff with WoW and continue to be a regular at Shimmer. Like those are some of the main things I would like to do. Continue doing.
Yeah, speaking of WoW, that's actually how I discovered you and became a fan initially. Hopefully they start, up sometime in the near future. Last time I talked to Samantha about it, she said that everything's on pause, obviously because of COVID, but I'm really excited to see the next season of that.
Yeah, I think around this time we would probably be shooting WoW actually. So I know just David McClain and Jeannie Buss, they have a vision, and I don't think part of their WoW is a lot about the fans. So I don't think the vision they have is a no fans kind of thing. So unfortunately, stuff is on hold until can figure out how to safely run shows with fans and just get past where we're at right now. So we're all waiting. We're all in limbo. Hopefully something happens. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited because I know prior to COVID they were talking about actually like touring and stuff like that. So I kept saying, come to Maryland, that would be awesome. So we'll just have to see.
That was in the works, yeah. Nah, not right now. Everything's paused.
So as far as my next question for you, because I'm really curious about this. So at Hell Hath No Fear, Mission Pro Wrestling, you were doing commentating. Is that something that we can expect for you to do for multiple amount of shows? Are we going to see some Holidead in the ring wrestling, or what can we expect with that?
Are you talking about for Mission Pro or just
Mission Pro right now?
Well, apparently I am booked for the next Mission Pro show as a commentator. Honestly, when it came about, I knew Mel Thunder Rosa was, doing the Mission Pro thing, and like she made a status on Facebook. I jokingly, like sarcastically, was like, "Hey, you need somebody on commentator? Let me know." Just throwing stuff out there or whatever. And then I messaged Brian, like more serious, like, "Hey, if you guys need any help, let me know." He's like, "Oh, I think Mel has you down for commentator." I'm like, "Oh, all right, I guess I'm doing commentary." So, the last show I actually wrestled on the pre-show, which was not scheduled, but things happen. You always got to be ready to go. So I wrestled the pre-show, changed, and did commentary for the rest of the night. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm just in wrestling, just be prepared for whatever. Yeah, so I am booked on the next show as commentator. I don't plan on, bringing any wrestling clothes, but you never know. Stuff happens. Spot needs to be filled. I don't know. I'm always prepared. I'm always ready to get in the ring.
Exactly. And like with commentating, like I never even like pictured you ever doing it, but then when actually seeing you do it, you kind of gave me like Macho Man Randy Savage vibes when he did it back in the early 90s. I like it a lot. It was really cool. And is that something that like you enjoy doing? Like, can you see yourself doing that? Maybe like life after wrestling or something like that.
Like when I said I would do it again, it was just joking, and then when she like officially booked me, I was like, oh, all right, I guess I gotta be on my shit. Okay. Like I didn't know how I would feel about it, honestly, but Brittany Nicole, shout out to her. Like she's just great, amazing person to work with. Like me and her just clicked instantly, and we were just going off on one another. Like, I mean, and that doesn't always happen, just having chemistry with someone, and like we just vibed, and it was like somebody on Twitter, I think they said it was just like watching with their friends or something, and it was like that's how it felt like with us. The vibe, it was good. Life after wrestling, I don't know. If there's interest out there and people want to pay me to do it as a professional, yes. If somebody wants me to come in and do it for free or something like that, no. I mean, but I love being in the ring. I love brutalizing my body and all that stuff. I would like to do that, as long as I can or as long as the opportunities are there. But you never know in wrestling, so we'll see what happens.
Exactly. Like it's always good to set yourself up for life after wrestling because you never know your next match could be your last. I hope not, obviously, but anything could happen in wrestling, good and bad. So I mean, it's that's clearly something that you're very good at, in my opinion, and that's something that you could definitely pursue after wrestling. And I really want to know too, because I've never interviewed anyone on my show that's done commentary. So tell me a little bit about like what goes into like getting prepared for it.
I mean, you want to know the card, obviously. You want to know the people in the matches. If not, familiarize yourself with them. If you can watch like a match of everyone, that'd be good, just to know their style. But if not, at least beforehand, you want to get with everybody and just kind of take notes on, get a little bit of their background, or they train, any interesting tips they might want, or any interesting facts they might want to come across commentary, just so we're calling the match, but we also have other kind of filler stuff to say. Oh, this person does this, da, 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 da. Like I think Red Velvet, like she broke out some boxing moves, and she mentioned to me that her dad and I think granddad were a boxer, so that's something you could tie in or whatever.
Gotcha.
Just background info on the people, pretty much.
Yeah, I never really thought of that. I thought of just, they give you the card, they tell you, who's going to win, who's going to lose, and stuff like that, and you just go. I mean, every promotion I know is different. WWE is very scripted, so indies I know it's got to be a little bit different. You kind of have more, freedom, what you can say and all that, but I never actually, and it's I feel kind of dumb for saying it, but I never thought about, like, doing research on the actual wrestler so you can bring up, facts like this. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because we're talking the whole show. Like, there's a difference between watching a show with no commentary and commentary, and There's shitty commentary and there's good commentary too. You don't want people just like I've watched shows and where the commentary like they're not talking about the match at all. They're going off about something else, and it's like I feel like that's very disrespectful to the people in the ring when your commentators are talking about something else that has nothing to do with what's going on. So just to be prepared and be professional, like whether it's independent or some other major company. My thoughts personally.
Exactly. Like, to me, like it's commentary is a big part of the match. It's kind of like the crowd too. Like there's different things that really factor and that really make everything come together. And a good commentary really does. A bad commentary can kind of water down the match a little bit too. So I definitely feel like it's important to be prepared, to have this knowledge and everything, just and to make, the magic happen.
Word like.
So now my next question too is, so when you started, your wrestling, obviously everyone's dream is to make it a career, but what was the moment that made you say, hey, like I can make this a full-time career?
I don't know if there was a moment where I said, hey, I can make this a full-time career. I mean, I know like that was what I was going towards. Like, I know there was a time I was living in LA. I was working full-time at a law firm, actually. But they were always good with my schedule. Like, if I'm like, I got to, this weekend, I need to take off, whatever. They're like, whatever, just make up your time. Like, they even let me go to Japan for a couple months. I'm sure they're going to be like, peace out. But they're like, yeah, come back, we value you, blah, blah, blah. So that was good. But I mean, I got to a point where like I was working wrestling just about every weekend, 5 days a week there. And I was getting to a point where I was getting depressed, like going to that job. And at the time, Thunder Rosa, she was living in Oakland and she was on Lucha Underground. So she would come down to LA, like to shoot, but she would come hang out with me or whatever. And so like in the morning, she would take my car, like she would get up with me, take my car to work, and she would see me how I was in the morning and then see me how I was like after, like in the morning, just like, and afterwards, like, yeah, let's go train, whatever. And so one day she just called me and was like, yo, look, I know you want to do this wrestling thing full time or whatever. If you want, you can come move with me and my husband in Oakland, pay really cheap rent, and all you got to do is worry about wrestling full time and training. And I was like, I was scared at first, but she's like, this is what you want to do, like, take a leap. And I was like, fuck it. So I moved to Oakland, quit my job, and my Thunder Rosa charged me really cheap rent. So all I had to do was worry about wrestling and training. And like, that was kind of the start of it, like, just to get in that mentality of like, this is my job. This is what I need to focus on. I need to focus on training. I need to focus on getting booked and like keep bringing money in. Because people think like, because you're booked all the time, like things are good. It's like, no, like that's work to constantly be booked. Like it's a constant hustle. Like being independent, not being signed anywhere, not regularly working with a major company. Like you have to constantly put yourself out there, constantly make people aware that you exist. You're hot for some reason. You want to book me, even though I'm not with a major company, even though I'm not working on this major company. Bring me to your company. So I'm not sure. I'm starting to ramble. I'm not sure what the point I was making.
No, I get the point that you're making. Yeah, you definitely answered it. Okay. Yes, I totally get what you mean. That like sometimes you have to bet on yourself. It is scary taking that kind of being an independent, contractor. Basically, like you don't have, you're not going in every day, clocking in and clocking out somewhere. You have to get your own work, and sometimes that's just what you got to do. Like you said, you were miserable at your job and, wrestling was something that really made you happy. And like, I don't want to say I can relate, but my one friend who wrestles, she works with me. She comes into work, same thing, kind of like, but then when she's, at the, in the ring, she's happy. She's, obviously she hasn't been able to wrestle for God knows how long because of COVID, but I've noticed a big difference in her when she's in the ring versus, being at work. And, sometimes you just, like I said, just take that bet and just do it. And I mean, obviously it's worked out very well for you. And hopefully bigger and better things just keep coming for you. I mean, like I said, every time I get on social media, I feel like I see like a new booking for you somewhere. So, people like booking you,
I appreciate the thought. Again, I don't agree with you, but enough people do. Hopefully more will, we'll see with time. We'll see what the wrestling guys have in store. We'll see.
Exactly. Now, speaking of that, because I know Thunder Rosa's done some work with AEW, do you think that could be in the cards for you sometime in the future?
I'm not a booker. I'm not the person that makes those decisions. I'm open for any opportunity that comes my way. That's, if they ever feel they have an opportunity for me, I'd love to do that. But again, like a lot of stuff, it's not on me. It's on that's above my head. So, but I'm ready. Whenever opportunity comes, I'll be ready for whoever, whatever company.
Exactly. Like I would love to see you on TV, and it's kind of funny because you did make appearances on NXT, and I think it was Raw before. So like,
I don't think Holidead was on NXT or Raw.
not Holidead.
Okay, then.
Okay, but someone
Like,
else.
who are you talking to? Like, who was this interview with?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
No,
But
I
yeah,
don't. Say what you mean.
your alter ego.
I don't know. I don't have an alter ego. Say what you mean. Speak your minds. Get it out. Say it. What do you got to say? Go ahead. Because I want to get this out. Go ahead.
Uh, not
Who was?
Holiday.
Okay, who was?
You said who was it? Wasn't it
Yeah.
like Cammy Fields or something like that?
Okay, for the record, Holidead has never met Cammy Fields. I don't know her. I wish her all the best. She's I've never appeared in Holidead's never appeared in WWE. Cammy Fields appeared on Raw and NXT against Bayley and I believe Io. So kudos to that girl. She's hanging with some heavy hitters.
Exactly.
More than I've done. I do have a match on WWE Network, but Holiday has never appeared on WWE.
Yeah, I did see that. That was actually really cool.
So yeah, I got that. No Raw or NXT appearances, but I'm on the network.
You made an appearance on the WWE Network.
I'm on the network for sure.
So now I got two questions that Christy wanted me to ask you. So the first one is, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about being a professional wrestler?
I have a few least favorites. Two I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna pick two least favorite things. One is, like you said, I go different places. I travel a lot. I hate when people see that I'm gonna be appearing in such and such city, and I get a message that says, "Oh, hey, you coming in the city? You're not gonna hang out." Wrestling is my job. Like, if I'm in someone's city, someone is paying me there. They're paying my travel. They're paying me to be there to work. Like, I'm not coming there to hang out. And I feel like that's very rude and like inconsiderate of someone to be like, because I feel like a lot of times when you tell people you wrestle professionally and you're not working for WWE or something, they take it as a joke. They're like, "Oh, you don't have nothing going on with your day. You're not busy or whatever." Like, yeah, I am busy. I'm going into the city. I'm probably going to go to the gym that day, eat something, then go to the show. If you do want to see me, you can come to the show and show support, but I'm working today. I know you might work Monday through Friday. I typically work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, depending on the booking, but if I'm there to work, not to fuck around or whatever. If I have some time, okay, cool. If not, don't hit me up saying, "Why couldn't I hang out with you?" Why don't you come to the show? Why don't you try to get a ticket? You want to see me? One. Okay. The other thing is the politics, but in any way of life, any business, there's politics, but this is the business I'm in, so I can only talk about these politics. And I'm sure it's, stuff you've heard before, just a lot of times I see good people, like a lot of bad shit happens to the good people, like people who are just doing what they're supposed to, like doing the right thing, like they get shitted on. And it's usually, and I see a lot of people who are very shitty people in real life. They ascend because of the shitty shit they do. And it's just like, and it makes you question, like, why am I giving my body and like all my time, energy, and love to this when I know like I'm never gonna be a shitty person. I'm never gonna backstab anybody. I'm not gonna sleep my way to the top. I'm not gonna do any fucked up shit. But these people who are, they're gonna get that. But I see people like, the Eddie Kingstons, the Mercedes Martinez, MVPs. Like those are people I look up to, and I could say they've never like put their character or who they were on the line. They've always been them, and like good shit is happening for them. So there's hope to it that people who don't fall into the politics, things can happen for them. But it's usually like shitty people rise to the top, good people rise to the top. So it can happen, but there's always politics.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I always had the mindset that karma will come back and bite shitty people in the ass. Good things happen to good people. Sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Not in wrestling. No. I just keep seeing shit. Shitty people might get, I don't know, I feel like the shitty people, they'll follow for a second, a couple months go by, and then they're right back. It's like, oh, we forgot they did this. They're a horrible person. Oh, fuck it, forget it. They wrestle good. All right, whatever. They can be shitty in real lives. We don't care. But, yeah, this is the business I'm in. So,
exactly. Yeah. It's obviously not fair, but it is what it is. There are good things that do come to a lot of good people in wrestling, though. It not all good people who do it the right way get the shit end of the stick. Some actually do come out on top. As far as like the shitty people, sometimes karma gets them, sometimes it doesn't. It's just how life works, honestly. Yeah. But as far as like the first part you mentioned, like the hangout part, are you talking about like your actual like friends that know you like when you're in their city, or are you talking about like
Yeah.
fans?
No, I'm talking people that know. Like,
Okay.
I feel like people don't necessarily respect you saying I'm a professional wrestler as this is my job. People just look at it around like, oh, you're just doing this on the weekend or whatever. Like, no, this is my full-time gig. Like, this is what pays my rent. Like, it's not a game. I'm here on somebody else's dime. If you did want to come see me, come to the show. But yeah, they don't. So, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, friends should support you and come to your show, even if they don't like wrestling. Like, if I wasn't a wrestling fan and I had a friend who wrestled that was nearby, I would go. Shit, it's seeing your friend and supporting them and what they like to do. So, I mean, why not? I mean, it's not like the tickets are like crazy. It's not WWE tickets where you're paying an arm and a
They're
leg.
not. People always want to complain about prices and this and that, and it's like, but you would pay triple this to go see WWE or whatever. It's like, are you gonna support or not? Like, don't come to me looking for freebies or discounts. You're gonna support. You're gonna support. If not, leave me the fuck alone. I don't know.
Well said, well said. Now, the second question that Christy had for you is, what is something that you wish someone would have told you when you first started wrestling that you now know?
All right, hold on. I gotta think on this one. I don't know. I feel like everything I was told, is good stuff, whether I took heed to it or not. I don't know. Maybe I wish somebody would have told me don't fall in love with wrestling. I don't know. Like, this is a hard one. I don't know. I mean, people always say don't make, friends in the business or don't get in the business to make friends. I never got in the business to make friends. I did make a couple good ones, so that's cool. I mean, people always say have your exit strategy. I don't know if I've, followed that all well, kind of put all my eggs in the wrestling basket. Like, this is going to happen until I'm done with it. But again, like you said, any match can be your last match. So as much as I am passionate about it and want this to be the end all be all, like, I know, I know how my body feels. I know different elements I have and stuff. And like, this won't be forever. So, but I mean, it's hard because when you feel a certain way about this one thing and you don't have that same passion about other things, it's hard to start redirecting your energy. But I mean, I guess that is something we all should do and save your money. I mean, I'm doing okay on that, I don't know, what's the question? I'm rambling again. Repeat the question.
No, I was basically saying that, what is some knowledge that you wish you would have basically knew when you first started that you now know,
Okay.
kind of thing,
Like,
like that.
okay. I would say research your wrestling schools just because there's so many schools out there now and like so many popping about the blue. Like a lot of these schools, they just want your money. Like they don't care how good you are, if you're good or whatever. Like these, like for me, I always thought I'll consider wrestling school a trade school. For me, a trade school, I always thought you go, you learn a skill, you graduate, and then you go off into the work world. Of course, you still train, but a lot of these schools, they want you to stay at their school forever. Even if you graduate, it's like they don't want you to do anything else, don't do any other shows but ours, and they keep feeding you along and feed you whatever bullshit you want to hear, just so that you'll keep going there and paying money there. Like people, you should want to have your student out working, saying this is my product or whatever. But everybody's greedy. A lot of people aren't really meant to be trainers, but schools again are popping up left and right. Do your research on schools, talk to wrestlers, where they went, experiences, and just because somebody has a name doesn't mean they're a good teacher either. So just be cognizant of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I get it. Like it's a business. You need to make money to survive. But then if you're being shitty about it, you're gonna get that bad reputation. Like I've heard a lot of good things about Booker T's School of Reality of Wrestling and stuff like that. Like you hear all these positive feedback from the school, so I think that's like a good thing. And I interviewed someone like 2 months ago. She trained at Ember Moon's dojo, so it's like when you have these good experiences at these schools, it's kind of, to me, it's kind of like free advertisement when you get them out of the school and get them in wrestling. It's good for you because then people can say, when you start making a name for yourself, you could say, hey, well, I started here, and that kind of builds up the reputation for that school. And I mean, obviously Booker T's a big name, but he also, from what I heard, he really cares and really is very detailed with his trainees, and everything like that. Like, oh my God, I feel like almost every wrestler that I've interviewed has gone through his school in some way, shape, or form. So, I mean, that's a really good thing, you know. I'm not like well, as far as like training schools, I really don't know of many. I know here in Maryland there's MCW, but I mean, apparently, you know, according to what you said, there must be kind of like all over the place. But you know, there's only so many that have that like really big name, at least in from what I've heard.
I mean, yeah, just depending on where you're at locally, but like, I mean, just keeping up on social media, like I feel like I see new schools popping up every week, and like some of them are all in the same areas, and it's just like there's so much petty drama that goes on behind wrestling and stuff between like, and a lot of it's sometimes between this trainer and this trainer. So your student can't work with my student, this and that, and it's like, fuck, they came here to train and be wrestlers and like go out in the world, train them to be a wrestler, train them to deal with like unprofessional people or people who have beef or heat or whatever. Like it's I mean, it's a lot of egos, it's a lot of overinflated egos in wrestling, and you got to deal with all of that, and that especially even in training, unfortunately.
Exactly. Like, you know, you need, as a trainer in wrestling, you do need to teach them about how to handle these situations too. Because I had Casey Lennox on my show last month, and she was telling me about the knowledge that Santana Garrett passed to her, and it wasn't just in ring; it was about how to carry yourself outside the ring too. And I feel like that's a very important thing to really teach, you know, the students because you know, when you know start making a name for yourself, there's going to be a lot of drama, there's going to be a lot of stuff that you're going to have to deal with, you know, from fans, social media, other wrestlers, and there's a lot more to it than just being in the ring, you know, from what I've been told, and it all makes sense.
Absolutely. There's in-ring etiquette. There's, you know, when you go to a show, how you're supposed to act, just acting around in the locker room. And I mean, some of these places, they don't teach you that. They just teach you how to come and work in our school and keep paying us money and not go anywhere. Like some of these schools will tell you like, oh, don't go to the indies. You need to be focused on getting signed somewhere. Da da da. Like, okay, that's not everybody's path. And there's so much wrestling out here now. Like someone can wrestle anywhere. I feel like a school is doing someone a deterrence to say, only come here if you want to work for company A and company A only. And if that's the case, then the school should say that and be upfront about it. But it's all a game. Like I think Triple H has one of the best songs ever. Like, you know, before when I was just a fan, I didn't get it. As a worker now, I'm like, this motherfucker. It's all about the game and how you play it. Like that's a fucking shoot. It's a straight up like it is all about the game and how you play it. And I laugh about it now, thinking like that motherfucker put that in his song. I bet the boys in the back, like how some of their responses were looking like this motherfucker. But yeah, it's all about the game and how you play it.
Exactly. He ain't lying. But speaking of Triple H's theme, I like his original theme back from like the late 90s DX. I forgot what it's called, but
I was about to say, which one is that?
It was the same people that sung the DX song, I believe. It was just I'd have to look it up, but yeah, that song from like the late 90s was my all-time favorite Triple H theme. But yeah, the game I do like that song too.
It's real life.
It's real life, yeah. And you don't even know it, you know. It's right there in your face.
I had no idea. Just thought it was a cool song as a kid. No, he was really telling a story that I knew nothing about at the time. Yep.
All right, so I got two more questions for you, and I'm sure you'll get into this one. So I know anyone who's a Holidead fan knows that you're super into being fit, working out, going to the gym. So tell me a little bit about like your workout routine, your diet. Like, how do you keep yourself in Holidead shape?
I don't have a routine. I don't have a diet. Like I train and I eat right. I know people are like, they want some fucking secret or whatever. For one, my body's not where I want it to be at all. It never will be. Like I'll never be satisfied. For two, there is no special secret diet pill or nothing. Just fucking eat right. Like it's. I know people are like, oh, it's so cliche. Eat your fucking balanced meals. Cut out your fried foods, fast foods. Portion control. Like we can eat what we want. It's about portion. Like, yeah. And like now being in the gym is like therapeutic for me. So like that's something I'll always do. Train. Like I'm actually one of those people that enjoy being in the gym. I enjoy lifting weights. So, I don't know. I can't explain the feeling to you unless if you're a meathead, you get it. You know, the pump, as Arnold, the legendary Arnold said. You know, the pump is one of the greatest feelings ever. So yeah, no, I mean, I train usually in the gym 5-6 days a week, and I eat a lot of chicken. different marinades of the chicken, but like I mean, you know, try to eat like the lean meats, chicken, fish, ground turkey. I don't really buy pork. Like, I buy a steak every blue moon or whatever. Don't eat so many carbs. If you do, you know, don't eat the shitty carbs. You know, get your sugar from natural stuff like fruit. I'm not a dietitian, so don't quote me on any of this, but
No, it totally makes sense. Like when it comes to all
this
that
is
stuff,
Glade.
it is all common sense, but a lot of people don't think about it. But like, you know, you're talking about the gym. I personally don't feel that same way when I go to the gym. I kind of get like intimidated. Like for me, I like to go for walks in the jog. That's very therapeutic to me. I like to do all the cardio kind of stuff. The one thing with me, like personally, is I could lift and do all these upper body workouts and I just don't gain muscle. It's just, I feel like it's kind of like my metabolism because I can eat as much as I want to and I don't gain anything. So it's kind of like one of those things for me. Like I've even tried like protein shakes and stuff like that and nothing works for me. But
I'm about to ask about your diet, but I don't know if your podcast like wants to hear that.
no, go for
Like,
it.
what is your regular like meal through the day? Like, what do you eat in regular throughout the day? Sorry if I'm boring.
No, you good. Well, we do kind of eat a little fast food pretty often. See, that's why like I had these really like stellar looking abs, and then right before the
Right.
show, I had
Right.
McDonald's, so
Yeah.
that just killed it.
That
But now
McDonald's
like
killed all that.
I've been doing better with sodas though. I kind of cut that down. I
Yeah,
drink a
you
lot
gotta
of
cut.
water.
You gotta cut that out. Cut sodas out. Cut juices out. That's like hella sugar. Like
I
only
drink a
got
lot of
water.
juice.
Yeah, that's so much fucking sugar. It's bad. I'm telling you, that's the bad sugar. Natural sugar is with fruits, but even then, like you still don't want to like go binge on a bag of grapes at midnight because that's a bunch of sugar that's just sitting there. Sugar turns to fat. Giving y'all a science lesson. It's basics. What they tell you in like the fucking food pyramid. Eat 3 meals a day. Portion your shit out. Try to stay away from fried foods, fatty foods, fast foods, soda, pop, juice. Cut it out.
Well, I'm trying to start
Regular
with
stuff
fast
they tell you
food.
to do that sounds cliche. That's it.
I know it all makes sense, but yeah, for me, like I'm gonna try to cut out fast food. Other than Five Guys burgers, I'll never give them up. But other than
How
that,
often are you eating fast food?
probably
See, don't
like
lie. Don't lie. You got to be truthful too. Now.
probably like twice a week. Every Saturday, I get Wendy's breakfast. I'll be honest with you, because they got the best breakfast. Not a lot of people know about that. And then usually like one other time during the week, we'll get like McDonald's. There's one right up the street.
Okay, when you're not eating out, like what are y'all eating at home? What kind of foods y'all eating at home?
If Christy is home, she'll usually make some kind of like meat, veggie kind of thing,
What kind of meat? What kind of meat? Pork, beef.
Beef
What?
is usually the most popular thing.
Yeah, you want to stay red meat? You gotta get ground turkey. Season it up. It tastes just the same. It's good.
At my work I get like free credit, so I got ground turkey like a few weeks ago, and that was pretty good. But it doesn't fill me up though. I feel like it's kind of like bacon where it just like shrinks, so it didn't really do me justice.
Like getting in shape and everything, like it's a discipline. Like you're so used to something, like you do really have to start cutting those things out, and you have to discipline yourself, saying, okay, this is what I want. This is where I want to be. Like, and meal prepping helps a lot of that. So like, pick a day. Like if Sunday's your free day, like you're gonna make all your meals for the week. That stops you from being like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to go home cook. I'm just grab some fast food right quick, or just make something cheap. There's no excuse. Your shit is already there. Like, but it starts like with the discipline here. Like if you really want it. I know everybody says that, but it's true. Like if you want it, you have to work for it. There's no fucking secret diet pill. There might be for like a weekend, but if you're trying to maintain, you have to change the way you live.
Exactly, and like when you're talking about like the whole like training yourself not to do it and stuff like that. As for a sodas, Christy keeps buying sodas, and when it's right, and she puts it in the fridge in my game.
Don't blame it on her. Don't blame it on her.
But when you
It's a
you
group
want
effort.
something, and it's right there in front of you, it's so tempting.
Okay, do you want that soda or you want the abs? If you want the abs, then you'll pour it down the drain and be done with it. But you don't. You really want that
abs,
sugar.
yeah.
You want that sugary sweet pop. See? Where are you
I'll
from?
definitely try to do it next.
Where are you from?
Huh?
Where are you from?
Maryland.
Okay, y'all say soda, huh?
Yeah. Or you? How do you say it?
Pop.
Pop. Okay.
We
say soda.
Like, all right, I'll allow it. That's fine.
I know some people call it like belly wash.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah,
Don't
no,
know what
I've heard
party
that.
is.
And it's usually like the guy that I heard it from, he was in like a YouTuber in like South Carolina or something
I was
like
gonna
that. I
say
don't know if that's
sounds southern. No offense, sounds southern.
yeah, I think it is a southern thing. And
Yeah.
so we talked about the diet and all that kind of stuff, and I will say that next time we cross paths, I will do my best to have better abs than you. But now the last the
Yeah.
last and final thing I got for you is you had mentioned in the Q&A that we did that you like to play video games and you like to visit museums. So I got to talk about video games because I'm a huge gamer. So what kind of games are you into?
All right, not to deceive anyone, I'm not any kind of ultimate gamer or whatever. When I say I play games, I'm very frugal with my money. Like I don't like to buy these new systems because it's like then 2 years later I gotta buy another one. I gotta keep fucking upgrading. I have an Xbox 360. All the Xbox 360 games are like $20 right now. I'm still on that, and I'm gonna stay on that until that shit doesn't work anymore. But I like mainly like single player games, like all the Assassin's Creeds, Grand Theft Autos, like single player games with stories. Like I enjoy those. That's mostly what I play, or like fucking Tekken or Street Fighter or something like that.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way when it comes to single player games. When I was younger in high school, I did all the online games, Gears of War, Call of Duty, and all that kind of stuff. But it's just to the point where people are so competitive and, people
Yeah.
religiously play the same game. I just cannot keep up with it. So I kind of stick with single player games. Like I love Resident Evil, the Mass Effect games. There were some really good games for the 360. No, it was actually for the PS3, same generation though, like Beyond Two Souls, like those games where you play where you control the story, like you make the decisions and it kind of has a factor into the ending, like stuff like that. I do like if you anyone knows me knows I have like every system. I have the PS2, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One. I have the
So you have
N64 still.
the PS5 and whatever the new Xbox is. You have that pre-ordered, I'm assuming.
Not the Xbox. I don't have the PlayStation pre-ordered. I'm going to get the PS5 eventually, but I want to actually see if there's any hardware issues first. Because I know the 360 when that first came out, it had the red ring of death, and I don't want to experience that again. But yeah, I don't play video games as much as I would like to anymore due to just work, school, podcasting. It comes with getting older.
Adulting. No, I get you. I would like to play, get in fantasy world more, but adult shit happens.
Exactly. Every weekend I sit there and say, "Oh, I'm gonna play the crap out of this game," and then just throughout, the week being all drained from work, I just want to sleep during the weekend. So that's life right there.
That's life.
And you mentioned museums because I'm actually really interested in that. Like, I haven't been to a museum since I was like in elementary school, but I do think they're kind of neat. So, what kind of museums do you like to visit?
Anything about history, I enjoy history very much. So any kind of history museum, usually any kind of science museum, pretty fucking cool to me. I'm a nerd, dork, whatever, but yeah, that shit's cool to me. A day at the museum is like, I'm good. You take me there, we're good. We're good to go. That's like a kid in the toy store for me.
Mm-hmm.
Museum, so yeah.
Yeah, see, there's a really good like science museum somewhere in Baltimore I want to go to. That's one that I went to when I was younger, but me and Christy have been talking about for years about going to it, and we just keep putting it off and all that kind of stuff. But the one thing I wanted to bring up too is I'm a big Egypt person. I love history of Egypt. I love the movies, the Mummy and all that kind of stuff. I've seen that you've posted pictures before. You're like in the desert. Was that in Egypt or?
I did go to Egypt this past January. I did. Before the pandemic, I went to Egypt.
I am jealous as shit. Was that for like a wrestling show, or are you just like
that
traveling?
was because I wanted to go visit Egypt.
Yeah, well, I'm super jealous because that's like on my bucket list, and I'll probably never.
You'll probably never what?
Probably never go there. It's like
why? Why are you putting that negative energy out in the world? Like, why are you saying?
All right, well, I'm gonna do it one day, okay?
Well, you are not. The way you said it, you don't even believe me. You rolled your eyes like, how do you?
I don't know. I just don't really travel a lot. Like the most traveling I do is like
you travel for wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's different wrestling, and it's not like a plane trip to like the other side of the world.
You're not like you don't like planes? Is that a thing?
Oh no, I don't mind planes.
All right, so what's the excuse? What's the problem? What are we talking? Minus COVID. What are we talking? What's the problem?
I honestly, I don't know. The only time I've really taking a plane is either to go to Florida, to go to Disney World, or to go to Minnesota to see the Vikings, and that's like.
Are you worried it's too long of a plane ride? They feed you, you know. They do
I
feed
know.
you. Okay.
But yeah, I've never taken a plane ride that long.
I had a layover in Ethiopia, which was way out of the way, but they do have fucking cots in the Ethiopian airport. They have cots for you to lay the fuck down. I was mesmerized. I was like, that's how people miss flights, but that was so dope. It was like 2, 3 in the morning. I was recording like, there's fucking cots. Because I was like, I thought that was they have cots. Because they know this is a layover airport. Come sleep, wake up, take your flight, fuck off.
Yes, hopefully you don't miss your flight, though. I'm sure a lot of people have done that.
As I said, a lot of people probably miss their flights sleeping in these comfortable ass cots. But yeah, go. Stop making excuses. Save some money. Buy your non-refundable ticket and stuff, so you gotta go. There's no excuse. Yeah, go.
I'm gonna look into it. I'm gonna see how much plane tickets are and just kind of start doing the research, because that's definitely something I've been wanting.
I'm gonna send you a link. So
you can send me a link. Okay.
So what the company I went through, I'll send you a link. So maybe you'll see something. Like,
sweet,
it was dope. It was an
that.
experience of a lifetime. It's fucking amazing. You should go experience it.
Okay, yeah, I got to talk Christy into doing it because she's scared of planes. So that's
no,
one of the
okay, you're not
too.
going. You're not going. You're not going. Never mind. I didn't know she was scared of planes. You're not going.
She's scared of planes. She's never done it in her life.
Oh, she's never been on a plane ever?
Never.
Okay, well you gotta make some small trips first. You can't just be like, all right, babe, we're going to Egypt for 20-something hour flight. Yeah, you gotta go somewhere small.
Just give her some alcohol and knock her out. I think that might help.
I don't know if that's a long plane ride. I don't fly straight through. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if she'll be out that long, but
yeah, we'll see.
Ease her into it. Take her. Fly to New York for something. I don't know.
Fly to New York. That would be a really quick flight, because that's like a 2 hour, 3 hour drive.
You gotta start her off. I don't think she's ready to fly to California yet. If she's never been on a plane, you gotta ease her into it.
I'll see what she says about that. I hear her giggling in the background, so she hears.
Yeah. Don't be afraid, Christy. It's all right. It's okay.
But yeah, Holly, that's all the questions that I have, including the ones that she wanted me to specifically ask you. So, wow, that was really fun, and that was definitely longer than the 20, 30 minutes that you probably thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. You got to talk about diet and gym and stuff.
I knew that would spark some, conversation with you.
Yeah.
But sure. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today on O-Face Wrestling. It was definitely an honor. You've been like top of the list for a minute now, so I'm glad I can check that off.
Cool. I'm honored to be top of the list. Hope this is somewhat enjoyable for your listeners. Doesn't get too boring, or I'm not rambling too much. Hope it's okay.
I think they'll like it. I mean, a lot of my friends who follow my podcast have been asking for like the longest time, like, why don't you have Holidead on? Holidead. So now I can sit there and say, well, here you go, watch it. Because you think I bugged you a lot about this. You should see how much, the O-Face squad members bug me all the time in the chat, like, why don't you have Holidead? So, yeah, I finally got you on the show, so hell yeah. So
I'm honored. I'm flattered. Thank you all for the time.
Yeah, thank you. So do you want to share any of your social media, or if you have any Patreon you want to share?
Sure. Social media. If you're on Facebook, I have a fan page. Just look up Holidead, HOLIDEAD. You can also follow me on Twitter @Holidead, or you can follow me on Instagram @Holidead and I, one word, just like it sounds. Where else am I? If you want some merch, you can email me directly at holideadwrestling.com. Only for merch or other serious inquiries, not just talk. I have a store Frontier, storefrontier.com/Holidead, and patreon.com/Holidead. All of those. Follow me, send me something, a like, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and as a, I don't know what you call it, a pledge or whatever, as a member of your Patreon, I will say that it is definitely worth it. I do the $50 tier, and you definitely get a lot in it. So, I mean, join us.
I was wondering if I was slacking or not. Okay.
No, I think it's pretty entertaining content, so far at least. And, you're new to it.
My first time doing a subscription service, so hopefully I'm keeping people engaged. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, me and Christy are liking it so far, so you're doing a good job.
Thank you, guys.
No problem. Thank you again. Thank you everyone for tuning into this episode. And one last time, thank you so much, Holly, for joining us today on O Face Wrestling.
Thank you, O Face.